We all know that we need to invest in our children, that they're our future.
We all are passionate about our children. They're tomorrow's future, so we need to make sure that they're healthy and ready to learn.
There is great satisfaction as well as success from helping out these children.
And I can honestly tell you, after almost 17 years doing this, I cannot wait to put my feet on the ground at 5:30 every morning and get started.
Your own life cannot be as full as God intended it to be if children are suffering.
I tried to find a passage in the Bible today, and it says something to the effect that if you have the gift of oratory, you are obligated to use it to help others. I don't know if I have a gift, but I'm willing to speak. I find myself speaking up on issues sometimes that are not real popular and being the only one sitting in a situation that will speak from a certain perspective.
Becky's one of these people that just is exciting to be around, is someone that I think all people admire because she's so dedicated, she's so giving, she's so loving, and she wants children to have every opportunity they possibly can have to be as good and fulfilled as they possibly can.
Well, she speaks the language of the legislators, so they understand her and they know that she knows what she's talking about. She always has the facts. She never messes up there. She always presents them with what they need to hear. She can always relate it to things that have happened before and how passing a certain legislature or not had an effect on children.
Every time that I go with legislators and talk with them about the need for school nurses, I see the faces. I see the faces of the child that I lost, and I also see the faces of neglect. I see the faces of abuse. And when I realized that, I was able to stimulate the interest of my commissioners and my school board, then I realized that I could do this on a state and a federal level as well.
What we found as far as looking at techniques that Jennie's used to be able to sustain her efforts through seeking alternative funding sources is through her persistence and passion for the programs that she provides. And I think she's able to actually see those children that she's made a difference in through the nursing program, the kids that she's been able to possibly even save their lives through her ability to get them the services and the medical care that they need.
That's what drives her, is just to have the appropriate care for the children in the school day and to make sure that they are cared for. And she's very passionate about that, and it shows with her advocacy.
Children don't have choices. They have what's provided. And that image kind of very strongly hit with me back in the early 90s when we founded our very first kids cafe at Boys and Girls Club downtown in the local community. It's in a fairly run-down area of the community in a very low-income neighborhood. There was only about 60 kids attending the program. And we were kicking that program off that first night. As we walked outside, I watched a father take the food out of his child's hand and eat it in front of him. And I knew right then that that environment had to change, and we had to be a big piece of that. And as a result of that, we knew that Kids Cafe had to become not only a place to feed and nurture, but it also had to become a place where these children were safe and they could be cared for and nurtured. And as a result, that facility went from 60 children to over 250 a night within 3 weeks. And we knew at that point that we were really going to make a difference in these children's lives.
Frank doesn't ask why, Frank asks why not. And in that why not question usually gets people motivated to also ask why not and then take the next step to do what needs to be done. So I would say he's been a great champion for children and families.
He is absolutely sent straight from heaven, here to see children succeed. He's passionate, he is loving, he does all in his power to make life easier for those less fortunate.
I guess I find myself asking, if we're not going to make time for our children, then what are we willing to make time for? If we're not willing to make the sacrifices that our children have a future that they can anticipate, then for who or for what are we willing to make the sacrifices? And it's not just a matter of will we have a better day tomorrow because we've done this work. I'm not clear how we have a better day today without taking seriously the well-being of the children.
Even those that I have met outside of his presence, they all speak of him as this great mentor, this person who was able to help them through, this person who was able to give them the encouragement they needed at the vital time or the most pivotal time. That is the person they would go to. When I see him with those young people, there is that level of admiration that is rare that you see between the students and Dr. Smith.
And I think it was a wise decision for him to be selected for this honor. I think he is well deserving, and I think Luther is the type of person who we ought to be honoring, a person of service, a person of passion, a person of deep commitment, especially for those who are the most vulnerable in our society, our children.
We're not saving the world, but we're certainly doing what we hope to accomplish. The success of this, just about 80% of 5,000 kids, is terrifically satisfying. The challenge I have is to pass that satisfaction along to the almost 2,500 people who have volunteered and taken cases.
He understands the law. He understands the milieu in which the juvenile court and the children have to function on the government level, or the policy makers are functioning. But then he also knows the needs of the children and their families. That, I think, makes him extraordinarily effective as an advocate for them.
Probably hundreds of young lawyers come through our program because of Terry's reputation and his commitment to public service. That, being a lawyer doesn't only mean you are able to do both, but that you should do both. And he represents, I think, the best of that around.
The children do help me. They help me, they motivate me, and they also, often I get them to make cards for the legislators, letting them know that, hey, I may be a small person, but I have a right here in Georgia too, and I need somebody to advocate for me too and my needs.
You don't know where the next president, you don't know where the next Nobel Prize winner, you don't know where the next cure for the next disease is that's coming along, and it could at any point in time be one of these kids that you're feeding. So take care of them all.
It's really exciting to see former TIP kids become mentors to the current generation of kids in need, and that is when you project that out in the future, that could mean wonderful, wonderful things for our community, and that's very exciting to me.
Community is suffering abuse when children are suffering abuse. Community is suffering exploitation when children are suffering exploitation. And if you want to live in a community that is vital and nurturing and sustaining, in an environment in which you can really breathe and feel that this is good air, then you have to be concerned about what's happening with the children.
I wish somebody had told me you're not going to always win. You're not going to always get what you think you should have on behalf of whatever constituency you're working for. And don't be discouraged. Just keep coming back and coming back and keep coming back until you get what you need.